In level 2, we will be solving problems involving isosceles triangles and isosceles trapezoids. An isosceles triangle is a triangle with two congruent sides. We call the two congruent sides legs. So this is a leg, this is a leg, because they have the tick marks. We know they're congruent. The other side we call the base. The two angles that are across from the congruent sides are called base angles, and they are congruent. So angle A and angle B would be congruent. They have the same measure. So we call those base angles. And then the angle that's not one of the two congruent angles, up here at the top, we call the vertex angle. Okay, so to find the missing angles in this triangle, there's kind of two different approaches. One way I could do it is if I have the expression 2x minus 5 in angle B, I could put 2x minus 5 in angle A also, because I know those two angles are congruent. And then all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180, so I could do the equation 2x minus 5 plus 2x minus 5 plus 70, add all the angles together, and then set it equal to 180. To solve this equation, I combine like terms. I get 4x, and then minus 5 plus 70 gives me plus 60 equals 180. Subtract 60 from both sides. We get 4x equals 120. Divide by 4, and x equals 30. So x is 30. And now to find the measure of angle A, I plug 30 back into 2x minus 5. I plug it in for x. So I do 2 times 30 minus 5, and that gives us 60 minus 5, which is 55 degrees. So angle A is 55 degrees. Another way we could have gone about this problem is if we know the top angle is 70 and the bottom two angles are the same, I can do 180 minus 70, which is 110. And then, so if I have 110 degrees that has to be divided between two congruent angles, now I could just do 110 divided by 2, and each of those angles would be 55 degrees. So that gives me angle A, and then if I want to find x, I can do 2x minus 5 equals 55 and solve for x. Add 5 to both sides. We get 2x equals 60, divide by 2, and we get x equals 30. Same thing that we got with the other method. Okay, in an isosceles trapezoid, again we have two congruent sides. A trapezoid has 4 sides, and 2 of the sides are parallel. The 2 sides that are parallel have the arrows on them, so we know they're parallel, and those are called the bases. So a lot of times we call them B1 and B2, but they are the bases. And the other 2 sides that are not parallel are the 2 congruent sides in an isosceles triangle, and we call those legs. Just like the 2 congruent sides in the isosceles triangle were called legs. And then we have 2 pairs of angles that are congruent. On the bottom, angle H and angle K are congruent, and we call those base angles. Just like in the isosceles triangle. But then we also have another pair of angles on the top. Angle I and angle J are congruent to each other as well. And they're another pair of base angles. So in an isosceles trapezoid, we have 2 pairs of base angles. So if I know angle H is 55 degrees, angle K is going to be the same, so the value of Y is 55. And then to find the measures of the top angles, we can use our properties of parallel lines. Since the trapezoid has 2 parallel lines, and this side could be a transversal, we have two same side interior angles. And same side interior angles are always supplementary. They add up to 180. So this bottom angle H and angle I are going to be supplementary. They're going to add up to 180. So I can just do 180 minus 55 and we get 125 for the measure of angle I, or x equals 125. And then those top two base angles are congruent, so if angle I is 125, J is congruent to it, so Z would also be 125. And there you go.